Pittsburgh, the moment so many recall in the three-decade relationship between the Hurley family and the Krzyzewski family occurred in the 1992 NCAA Tournament, when Danny Hurley was a point guard for Seton Hall and Bobby Hurley was the point guard for Duke, and their teams wound up meeting in the Sweet 16. "I did pretty much ruin Bobby's game that day, because he was so psychologically scarred," Danny Hurley said Friday, adding that he went from playing about a dozen minutes as a backup point guard to a prominent role in that game because Pirates coach P.J. Carlesimo knew it would get in my brother's head. The more important meeting came a half-dozen or so years earlier, when Mike Krzyzewski noticed that the best young point guard in America happened to play for the best high school coach in America, Bob Hurley Sr., and began to recruit Bobby. March Madness Live updates, highlights from opening weekend. There has been a connection ever since, which is why it is more than an interesting coincidence to see the Rhode Island team coached by Danny bracketed against Coach K's Duke Blue Devils in the second round of the 2018 tournament for a Saturday 2:40 p.m. ET game at PPG Paints Arena. "We feel like we're in the same family," Krzyzewski told reporters. "Whether they said it that way or not, you know, we love the Hurley family. There's an expression that I love called the dignity of work. The dignity of work, and people who embrace that are happy their entire lives, because they never look at work as work. It dignifies them, whatever job they have. The Hurley family epitomizes the dignity of work, and you know, we feel we do, too. We get along really well. Look, obviously we want to beat them, but it's an honor to play against them." NCAA bracket picks: Bender, Virginia; Birdsong, Arizona; DeCourcy, Villanova; Fagan, Villanova; Krzyzewski and Bob Hurley Sr. occupy the same real estate at 1000 Hall of Fame Avenue in Springfield, Massachusetts, and it was Krzyzewski who presented Bob Sr. at his induction. Krzyzewski has won 5 NCAA championships, 92 NCAA tournament games and 1,098 overall. Bob Hurley Sr. won 28 New Jersey State championships and 1,184 games. That's a lot of knowledge available to any young coach. Certainly Dan got most of his influence from playing for and listening to his father, but it would seem possible anyone with his degree of ambition would try also to draw lessons from someone as accomplished as Krzyzewski and as influential in his brother's life. Coach K is obviously a relationship-based coach, and the thing that Bob talked about a lot from his experience at Duke was that Coach K had an amazing relationship with everyone on the roster. Danny told Sporting News. "He was as close with the 15th man on his team as he was to his star players. That's so important to the culture, the character of your team." Danny has been a head coach only since 2010, and has been at the Atlantic 10 conference level 6 years. This is his second consecutive appearance in the tournament, and the second time he has made it to the second round. More, losing a winless roster is no defeat for Pitt in search for new coach. The opponent this time, though, might be as physically gifted as any team he has faced. The Duke Blue Devils start a 6'11" power forward, Marvin Bagley, next to a 6'10" center, Wendell Carter, next to a pair of wings, Gary Trent and Grayson Allen, who are 6'6" and 6'5". Rhode Island's tallest rotation player is 6'8". "We've been overmatched in terms of size the whole year. Obviously, it hasn't been to this extent," Danny said. "Maybe our quickness, the multitude of players we have that can make threes or make plays against that zone. Hopefully that can offset the challenges we're going to have at the defensive end. Ultimately, that is what is important about this game. It is interesting that the Coaches Association is so close, that they go back so far, even to the days when Danny hoped Coach K would recruit him to be his brother's apprentice and then successor. I was probably a 3.5-star player, and Duke historically doesn't go for those," Danny said. "I begged, let me change that. I eliminated them from my list early on. I didn't want that. Too successful." Krzyzewski's experience doubtless will help him as he attempts to win this game and advance the Blue Devils toward another Final Four, which would be his 12th. The talent advantage of his players probably will help more, but there are no assurances. Krzyzewski has lost in this tournament to many coaches less accomplished than he. That's everyone, ever, and nearly all of them had less available talent. More, Arizona's stunning ouster leads to questions about program's future. "It's a constant thing for us. I'm not complaining, but with a group that hasn't been there before, you're trying to lead them along the way," Krzyzewski said. "There are different motivations from teams in the tournament as you move along. There are teams that are happy to be here. There are teams that hope they can win, and there are teams that believe they are going to win. You want to be the team that believes you're going to win, not just at the beginning of the game, but with 5 minutes to go and it's tight. Or, he could have said, with 2:16 to play in a game your team trails by 5 and is expected by nearly everyone to lose. That was the situation when Duke played undefeated UNLV in the 1991 Final Four, and the Blue Devils believed they could win. Bobby Hurley believed when he rose up on the left wing and fired in a three-pointer and closed the deficit to 2 points. It was a shot Krzyzewski later would call the biggest in the history of Duke basketball, bigger, even, than the famous Christian Laettner 17-footer that sent the Devils to the 1992 Final Four. Bobby Hurley holds the NCAA record for assists and scored 1,731 points for the Blue Devils. He played for 2 NCAA championship teams, and was a first-team All-American as a senior. Those 3 points, though, represented the Hurley family's greatest gift to Mike Krzyzewski's Duke program. They never can be taken away, but the Hurleys will want to steal one such moment for themselves Saturday afternoon.